Hey, what's up, guys? It's January 19th, 2019. I just finished watching the the address to the nation from President Trump. It was a beautiful address. Um, the ball's in the Dems' court now, as far as I'm concerned. The plan that he laid out is perfect. I don't see any issues with it. Um, I like the end because I did have an inkling that it was going to go to this. But yeah. So let's just get into some of the stats that people should already know, but I'm sure that they don't. Um, so Doctors Without Borders came out with a stat that they found that 1 in 3 immigrant women that travel to the border are either raped or sexually assaulted in some way. You know, for me myself, that is one of the biggest issues with me for immigration coming in illegally, is that no one's going to help you. No one's there to help you. And women and children are the most vulnerable. It's the main reason why I want to be in law enforcement, namely Border Patrol, is because of that. I am so against rape, sexual assault, anything, women, children, men, even. I cannot stress enough how much I despise that. 50 immigrants per day need some sort of serious medical attention. You know, um, I'm sure it gets intensive for these doctors that go down there and do this stuff. But, these are sick people. I mean, not only is the trek a long and strenuous journey, mentally, um, you have to be in that mindset to be able to overcome and do it. It's terrible. It's terrible for people to put themselves through that, and to and I do have compassion for them, but I also think that it's unfair for the people that decide that they want to come in legally and they have to sit in line and wait while these people just get to jump over the fence, and do what they want without any recourse. That's not fair. But back into this. As far as drugs go, $700 billion plus a year with illegal drugs coming into this country, namely fentanyl. Um, I have had friends in the past who were addicted to the drug. They couldn't get off it. They told me all about it and how terrible it is. And 90% of it comes from Mexico. That's got to stop. Like, there's nothing else that can be said about that. President Trump is keeping true to his promise that most of the people that voted for him wanted border security. That was one of the biggest things that he campaigned for, that people believed in, and I would, say that it's probably 95% of the reason why he was elected, because we need security in this country, and that's that. The radical left, they decide that they want open borders, and we know that doesn't work. And also, they're kind of hypocritical because, in the mid 90s, early 2000s, they were all about, you know, uh, keeping the border safe and secure. And now it's completely different. They want it open. Um, but they don't propose anything to take all the walls down. They just don't want our current president to put any more walls up or reinforce the ones that we already have. It's ridiculous. Um, so his plan, which is this is interesting. I like this a lot. $800 million to urgent foreign assistance. Yeah, yeah, we do need to help people. We do, but they need to help us as well. So hopefully that's what happens. $805 million for upgraded technology at the border. Absolutely need that. We need more drones, more sensors, cameras, lighting, anything. If maybe some remote control cars on the ground. Um, yeah, tech needs to go into it, but physical manpower needs to go into it as well, which is the next thing. $2,750 border agents being hired. That excites me the most because I am currently in the hiring process and I want to get on as soon as possible. So it's awesome to see that. I hope the Democrats agree to this bill or at least try to compromise somewhere or even add something. I haven't heard anything from them yet. 75 additional agent judge teams to assist with the over 900,000 cases that there already are for illegal immigrants in this country. It's overwhelming how many cases there are for people claiming that they are looking for asylum. Our justice system is just backed up, and they need help. So that's in this plan as well, to help expedite the processes and make sure that everybody gets a fair chance. I do like this a lot. Minors can apply for asylum in their own country, so they don't have to make that long, arduous journey up, and possibly, get hurt, get kidnapped, all of these terrible things. They can just do it from their country, and then if they get accepted, they can make their way up, and if not, they can stay there, but they don't have to put themselves in that danger to do something illegal. And it really doesn't prove that you have a loyalty to America if your first impression on the United States is coming in illegally. It's not okay. He also proposes $507 million on deployment of physical barriers, which is, I'm guessing, is similar to the steel fencing or bordering wall. I don't know what you want to call it. The steel barrier that has been all over the news. So we're going to keep putting those up, which needs to happen. I mean, you can see through it. It's hard to climb, we need that. And then also, which is in the last few weeks, I always wondered why nobody ever spoke to actual border agents. It's always the left talking about speaking to people that live in the communities or, other politicians. But what about talking to the people that literally sit at the border and monitor it every single day? You need to talk to them because they're the people that know the most. They're out there in those rural areas where there aren't any people except for traffickers, whether it be drug or human, and illegal immigrants just trying to come across the border. You need to go talk to the people that deal with that day in and day out, and nobody had, from what I saw. The only people that would speak about it are conservatives and the president, and they are the people that are going to know the most. So he did say 230 miles of additional border where these border agents see fit. Obviously they know where it needs to be and they can provide direction. It's common sense. So he did bring up that Democrats came up with some of these ideas. They did years ago. And I just don't understand why they're going back on them now. It just doesn't make any sense to me why you're not even passively for the wall. They were aggressively for border security, securing the nation, that illegal immigration was not okay. Chuck Schumer, there's video of him saying that, so it's not like anybody's making that up. It's there. It's just, we know that they don't like this president because he likes to get things done. He says what he means and he sticks to it, and that's it. So this is the part that I was talking about. It was interesting. This was towards the end of the speech. The Bridge Act. Now, he didn't say it was the Bridge Act, but what he proposed was essentially what the Bridge Act that Lindsey Graham, the bill that he proposed. So essentially, let's see, he said 3 years of relief to DACA recipients. So that means basically DACA recipients' expiration date will be extended 3 years. Cool, good. You're already here. Your parents came here illegal. They had you. That's fine. You know what? You can stay here an extra 3 years, get your stuff together, apply to be an American citizen, get what you need done, and that's it. It's simple. Um, 3 years of protection status for immigrants that have expiring visas, right? So a lot of people were afraid that, oh my God, he's going to deport me because my visa. Yeah, we all know that visa overstays are a big part of the illegal immigration in this country. Yeah, we get it. He's proposing that even if your visa expires, you can be covered under the Bridge Act for additional 3 years. Okay, you'll become a protected person. So, the Bridge Act, I'm just going to briefly go through what the Bridge Act is. The Bridge Act, so it applies to immigrants with visas. It's a provisional protected status, right? There are rules you have to follow, and they're the same as with DACA. It follows the same guidelines as DACA to become a protected person. Another great thing about this is that, the Democrats and the left are always complaining about the fact that, information shared and that immigrants shouldn't, be asked what their status is and whatnot. Well, guess what? Under this Bridge Act, the information that is received from DACA and the Provisional Protected Presence application will not be shared with ICE or the Customs and Border Protection. So that means that people that are protected under this Bridge Act, their information will not be shared with anyone in regards to their immigration status. So, just real quick, under DACA, these are the rules that, in order to become a protected person as an immigrant, this is what you got to be. You got to be at least 15 years old, born after June 15th, 1981. You've had to have been in the U.S. before your 16th birthday. You've had to have lived in the U.S. since June 15, 2007. You've had to have been physically present in the United States on June 15, 2012. Have not had any lawful immigration status on June 15, 2012. So you can't claim you're on DACA, but be a lawful immigrant. You can't do that. You have to be literally a DACA recipient. You have to be in school, or I think you could be Coast Guard or another branch of the armed services. I don't remember, but you basically have to be enrolled in college, getting your GED, armed services, whatever. You gotta be in one of those. And you obviously cannot have any felonies or significant misdemeanors. Just don't do any crimes, and you'll be a protected person. I think the Bridge Act works. I think the Bridge Act is a great idea. Shout out to Lindsey Graham for proposing that. I think it's really good. It's a great compromise to what conservatives want and what the left wants. So it's great. And, the plan that President Trump gave in his speech was great as well. And I don't see any problem with it, and I don't know why anybody else would have a problem with it. He's a great man, great leader, and he wants to get things done. And he knows how to negotiate, and that's it. He's doing what's best for our country. Simple as that. Common sense.